a wonderful initiative. I've never seen Bhagwan Omkara in person thus far, so seeing Bhagwan Omkara, at least virtually, makes me very happy. And how you're all communing together. We keep referencing social distancing. The correct term should be physical distancing, not social distancing. And this is an initiative to correct that. What you're all chanting is originally known as the Rudra mantra. And this comes from Ruk Dravayati iti Rudra. Ruk means sadness, anxiety, stress. And Dravayati means to flow away, to terminate, to end. So when we remember Bhagwan Rudra through this mantra, then what we're doing is we're allowing that stress, anxiety, sadness to flow away from the individual and from society. So keep doing what you're doing. On Thursdays, I teach a course called Applied Gita. I'm taking 5% of the shloka, so that's 35 out of 700, and how we can apply these. We're using Pujya Gurudev's Holy Gita as our main text, and we're using Swami Tejomayananda's, Guruji's, vision of the Bhagavad Gita as the supplementary text. I want to read to you a message from Swami Tejomayananda. We need to remember that at the level of the totality, things will not change. It is only at the individual level that change is possible. And when the individual changes, it will affect everyone around him. Do you all agree? Of course you agree. This is completely logical. In 2009, Guruji had called a overseas Acharyas conference. I had gone, Swami Sharanananda was there too. And as he was interacting with 50 of us, 55 of us, he shared that Chinmaya Mission is built upon two pillars. One of the pillars is our Acharyas, and one of the pillars is our Grahastas. And this is also logical. If you think of the genesis from how Swami Chinmayananda survived in Uttarakashi to how Chinmaya Mission has become what it is because of these two pillars. Now, this mentality can be extended to society in general. There's always a primary and a secondary, or the one who's in the front and the one who's supporting. In the present challenge we're going through, which is a health challenge primarily, we have frontline workers, our physicians, our nurses, our administrators, and we have those who support them, yes? If this was a challenge of war, then the frontline workers would be different. It would be the military, it would be the Navy, it would be the Army, it would be the Air Force, and those who support them. We all have a full appreciation for our essential workers. Many of you are those essential workers. What I want to draw our thinking to, we tend to be extrovert. Our vasanas are making us have more desires and more thoughts and more actions. An extrovert is one who's always comparing. Comparing what another person has and what they have, comparing another person and who they are. Once you start comparing, this devolves into, into jealousy. Yes? When you compare, you may start off as feeling superior, but finally you feel jealous. And I had read that jealousy is like a matchstick. First you burn, and then the other person burns too, right? Now, jealousy devolves even more, and that is into insecurity. That superiority complex becomes a inferiority complex. Everyone's with me? An extrovert compares. Comparing leads to jealousy. Jealousy leads to insecurity. Now, this sense of insecurity manifests in different ways. For someone who's very secular-minded, it is insecurity. For what we're going through right now, we may feel helpless. That insecurity manifests as helplessness. The essential workers are in the hospital, in the clinic. What am I doing? Who am I? And this helplessness can manifest differently as worthlessness. I'm not saying worthlessness. I don't mean this in a mean way, but in a worthlessness. Many of you have met my wife, Sheila. She and I discuss this all the time about how everyone's working from home now, schooling from home now. And a lot of our worth, a lot of our help is outside of the house. So when you can't leave your home, that lack of help, that lack of worth, it can creep up. Do you feel that? When I was in the Vedanta course, what Swami Tejomayananda shared again and again and again, more important than what to think is how to think. What to think is context-based. How to think is content-based. Now, if we deepen this, more important than what you do is why you do. More important than what you do is why you do. I'm sharing this because I'm not an essential worker in a technical sense, and the majority of you aren't either. It is important that we don't let our minds dominate us with this sense of insecurity, helplessness, worthlessness. Why you do what you do. In Srimad Bhagavatam, at the end of the Kshira Sagara Mantana, the churning of the Milky Ocean, Rishi Shuka tells Raja Parikshita, he's narrating all of this. When one serves their family and friends with the mindset that they're serving their family and friends, that type of seva is known as asat. Asat doesn't mean unreal. What this means is inefficient. And Rishi Shuka gives the example of, it's like watering a plant, but you water the leaves. Whereas, for one who serves their family and friends with the vision, with the intention, with the why of, I'm serving Bhagwan, then that seva is known as sat. That is efficient service. And the comparison given is, instead of watering the leaves, what do you all do? You water the roots, no? You may spray the leaf, but you still water the roots. I've been to so many of your homes. I've stayed in your homes. I've eaten in your homes. That's why I like to have your cameras on, so then I can see, bring back those memories. I've seen you water your plants. You water the roots, no? As you're schooling from home, as you're working from home, your why in terms of schooling and working is, you are doing this for Bhagwan. When you have that feeling, that bhava, then you are as essential a worker as anyone else. You are as essential a supporter as anyone else. Now, this may be too abstract for us. So let's simplify. If I can't feel that I'm cooking for Bhagwan, I'm washing dishes for Bhagwan, then what Bhagwan is this loka, this world. The email you received said, chanting for Loka Kalyanam. In Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan Krishna tells Prince Arjuna, be responsible. Be responsible for Loka Sangraha. Which means, if you look after creation, you're really looking after the creator. Sheila, my wife Sheila, because I know there's other Sheilas that you know and are joining us all also. I don't want there to be any controversy. She is deeply supportive of the work that I do. Right now, we're an hour ahead of you in life and also in time. So right now, we have 2 children now. Our younger son, Shuka, he was actually born on Gurudev's Jayanti, so he'll turn 1 next week. And our older son, Vyasa, will turn 3 in June. So this is their eating and sleeping time. And I had mentioned to Sheila that I'm getting a chance to be with all of our Northwest Indiana families, so I can't help right now. And she said, no worry, I'll fight this war by myself. But you see my point. She may not speak about Srimad Bhagavatam, but because she's supporting this time that I have, I can speak about Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes? So now she's an essential worker, and in this example, I am too. So why you do? For Bhagwan. Why you do? For Bhagwan's Loka. And if that's still too difficult to feel, I'll share one more way of developing this why. The word Bhagavan is actually Bhagavan. Van is like the termination man, like Buddhiman, the one who has buddhi, yes? You can also say Buddhivan, the one who has buddhi. So Bhagavan, Bhaga means fortune. That's why we have this word bhagya, the one who's fortunate. As you do what you do, and I mean every verb, cutting your grass, driving, banking, arguing and reconciling that argument, do this for your own development. To practice values, that becomes a virtue, yes? I shared this in another workshop. A difference between your bathrooms and a bathroom in a fancy hotel is your bathrooms tend not to have a makeup mirror, correct? And a fancy hotel tends to. And when you go to this fancy hotel bathroom, the first thing you do is put a cloth on that mirror. Because you don't want to see yourself so close, correct? The white hair, the wrinkles, the poor shaving job. When you're at home, you come to see your vices more clearly. Yes? And that's an opportunity to practice values more clearly. So develop this bhaga. Feel bhagya. This is an opportunity we have right now. Usually our lives move so fast. Right now, our Creator in His creation is forcing us to slow down. My final thought for all of you, then I do have to resume the fight. I mean parenting. Many times when I've been with you and we've been at our mandir, our center, we chant Arti, correct? Before my Jnana Yajna, we always have Arti. And one of the last verses and last lines is, Tan man dhan sab kuch tera. And what's fascinating is we say it every week, correct? We give, but we don't really give. Because if you gave, you don't have to say it again, correct? As someone who travels a lot, before Vyasa, I was traveling 240 days a year outside of the country. I would come to Monster many times a year. Then with Vyasa, that became 180 days, with Shuka, 120 days. Since I'm working from home, I keep thinking about, what am I doing? Why am I doing? And I've come to the understanding that one can only give 3 things in life. In Arti, this is called Tan, Man, and Dhan. In a more transactional sense, it's effort, that's Tan, time, that's Man, and resources, that's Dhan. You're with me? Tan, Man, Dhan in English would be resource, effort, time, and resources. Here is how I'm helping the individual and the total with my Tan or effort. I am working hard and smart to be happy and to be healthy. The greatest resource a nation has is not people. It is happy, healthy people, correct? If you're unhappy and unhealthy, you're a liability on the nation, on the world. So I'm working hard and smart. I now have the time to do things I've never had time to do. And I feel you do too, yes? To clean things that never got cleaned. To file things that never got filed. To just lie down in the grass. Every day I take Vyasa to Chinmayadhara, and we have a gate outside of our ashram. And I just sit in the sun and I read, and he plays with the dandelions and the worms and listens to the fire trucks. I was never able to do that before. Happy and healthy. Then Man. Man is your time. All of us, even though we're at home, can still volunteer, correct? You can volunteer to make masks. That's something very tactile. I think more subtle than that is people who are feeling down, why don't you call them? Tell them a joke. Smile at your parents. Smile at your grandparents. Yes? With the beginning of the challenge, I opened up all of my classes to everyone and started new programs in the morning when people tend to feel lower. So this is how I'm giving my time, my Man. And now Dhan. What's lovely about being connected. See, I'm in a different country than you, but here we are together, yes? And we can do that across the world. In some of my programs, we have people from Bharat, from Nepal, from Switzerland, from Kenya. It's amazing. So you can still donate, yes? And I especially share this because, are you worried about where your next meal is going to come from? I know most of you very well, and you're not worried about that. Your worry is overeating, yes? Not exercising enough. And even if you fell ill, you have the privilege to be taken care of right away. But that's not the case for everyone, right? Through the network that I'm involved in, we were able to raise $12,500 for a youth shelter in Niagara Falls. Just through this network, just asking people, hey, you know your privilege, but not everyone has that privilege. Then right after that, everyone was connected, communing. We raised $12,500 for a food bank in Albany. I am the resident teacher in Niagara. I'm also the visiting teacher in Cleveland and Albany. So we raised that amount of money. And now what we're working on is raising $15,000 for an animal protection league in Cleveland. See, when we need something, we can voice it. When an animal needs something, how can they voice it and who's listening to them? So through this done, we will be able to raise $40,000 in 40 days from April 1st to May 10th. And I'm sharing all of this with you because this is how you can, in a very practical way, be part of this challenge. Not in a worth less way, not in a help less way, but in a primary, essential way. And so, I am offering $1,000 to Chinmaya Omkara because I know you don't have the ashram open right now and the mandir is not open. So there are expenses and it's tough to facilitate these expenses. I started these virtual classes years ago. I'm ahead of the curve in regards to this. So we have a lot of experience with this and we have a large network who's most generous, and you're one of the first communities and centers that supported me, invited me again and again in such a generous way with your love and graciousness. This is the least I can do, is to do that. And I hope all of you can think about Chinmaya Omkara that way too. That so much of who you are and what you have is because of Bhagwan's Loka. If there's anything that any of you need as a center or individually, just write to me, okay? I have nowhere to go. So I am ready to help if I can help. So I'm checking in with Nirmita ji and Padmini ji one more time. Nirmita ji, do I have your permission to sign off now?
Thank you.
Yes, and Padmini ji, all fine?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're really blessed to have you today, but we want to see you soon coming and blessing our center.
Yes.
So thank you so much for your generous donation to our generous gift to our center.
Sure. I'm happy to do so. So next week, then I'll put a check in the mail for Chinmaya Omkara. And as soon as
so
our governments allow us to travel to each other's country, I'll come.
Thank you, Vivek ji. Thank you very much.
Hariom Suchita ji, and to all. Be well.
Thank you.
Yes, please keep continuing. I'm just going to tend to our kids now.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hariom, everyone. I'm very happy to inform you that Bhagwats, Raviji and Veena ji have agreed to start a Chikomatic for $100 a month. So we thank them from bottom of our hearts, from all of us. Thank you very much. And all of us, we know everyone's hurting, but if you can consider, doing something to our center, find it in your hearts to do whatever you can. Every penny counts. Like if you can think of doing a Chikomatic, the minimum is like $35 a month, or you want to do a one-time donation, please feel free. Everything will help. Right now, the ashram is closed, but all the expenses have to continue. For your convenience, we have, you can donate on our website. You can go there and donate, or you can mail us a check. We will take any which way your contribution, and it'll help us a lot. Thank you so much. Now we will do the Nirvana Shatkam and then Aarti. I would like to request all of you to turn off the mics, please. Mano buddhyahankar chittani naham na cha shrotra jive na cha grana netre na cha vyoma bhumir na tejo na vayuh चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न च प्राणसंज्ञो न वै पञ्चवायुः न वा सप्तधातुर्न वा पञ्चकोशाः न वाक्पाणिपादं न चोपस्थपायु चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न मे द्वेषरागौ न मे लोभमोहौ मदो नैव मे नैव मात्सर्यभावः न धर्मो न चार्थो न कामो न मोक्षः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं दानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न पुण्यं न पापं न सौख्यं न दुःखं न मन्त्रो न तीर्थं न वेदा न यज्ञः अहं भोजनं नैव भोज्यं न भोक्तं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं न मे मृत्युशङ्का न मे जातिभेदः पिता नैव मे नैव माता न जन्म न बन्धुर्न मित्रं गुरुर्नैव शिष्यः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् अहं निर्विकल्पो निराकाररूपः विभुर्व्याप्य सर्वत्र सर्वेन्द्रियाणां सदा मे समत्वं न मुक्तिर्न बन्धः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं 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 शिवोऽहम् Hari Om, everyone. Thank you all for joining us for a wonderful bhajans today. Chanting of Mahamrityunjay Mantram. And thanks to Vivek ji, thanks to Nirmita ji, and thanks to each and every one of you. We will continue this Monday program next week. Next Monday, however, we will be starting at 5 o'clock. And Swami Ishwananda ji from Chinmaya Mission LA Center will be blessing us. Kindly all of you join us. And today also happens to be a special day for one of our dear friends. Madhavi ji and Bhaskar ji are celebrating their anniversary. So let's together wish them all a very, very happy wedding anniversary. And we chanted Mahamrityunjaya Mantram. This is for all of us and especially for them today. Now we will do the Shiva Aarti. We will be doing for the Lingam here at Omkara Center. Hari Om.
Shiva Aarti.
Shiva.